and Brags and all that. And then there's okay, so here's a really quick meal snackety lunch idea. So it's kind of like a snack plate. I just worked out and it's really hot and I just want something fresh and refreshing, and I want some salt. So I have the little pickles, like the dill pickles. I have some cucumber with wasabi, Bragg's liquid aminos, and sesame seeds. It kind of tastes like sushi. I have Mary's Gone crackers. They're jalapeno seed crackers. They're kind of burnt. They're not great. They're kind of spicy. And then some gluten-free crackers. I think it's the almond flour ones. And then 2 little pieces of mozzarella cheese, some carrots, celery, which if you store it in water, it stays good longer, but it's already starting to kind of get bent. Then here is a can of chunk-light salmon, wild caught, drained, and it's got paprika, salt, cracked black pepper, stone ground mustard, and a tiny bit of mayo. And then I'm just gonna have this little sparkling water that has a little lime juice in there too. So today is food prep day. It's Memorial Day, but yeah, I'm gonna do food prep. I've got quinoa, quick rice, green beans, some other canned things back there, but I'm gonna also do a sheet pan of salmon and okra and some other veggies, so I'll show you that in a different video. But this is what I'm gonna eat for my snackety big late lunch. And I guess I'll show you another idea after this one for other ideas for balanced, healthy lunches. So this is like the protein. This is very high in protein. Got the veggies, got a little bit of fat, got the carbs, got the salt, more veggies, more salt, which is totally fine if you don't have super high blood pressure, which I do not. So that is it. I'll show you another idea after this. Okay, so I have the dishwasher going and the washing machine, but I'm doing food prep, and I just wanted to show you how I think about the process and how I do it really fast. So I have quick cooking rice, jasmine, 5 minutes. The quinoa, just follow the instructions on the back of it and it'll turn out fine. I'm gonna use veggie broth instead of chicken broth this time. I'm gonna make a little granola. I've got some dark chocolate chips and coconut. Be careful with these, they're very high in saturated fat. I'm gonna have all these canned things. So with the cannellini beans, I like to blend them after I drain and rinse them well. I blend them with some Valentina hot sauce, and I make my own kind of refried bean or enchilada sauce, whatever you want to call it. I just kind of, that's my favorite way to have them, either in like soft tacos or in a casserole. I think what I will do, instead of a casserole that dries out in the fridge, I'm just gonna, what I call ingredient prep, so that throughout the week I can throw things together in different ways. So like I kind of like put a rough list together of what I like to do, but yeah, I have some edamame and salmon patties in the freezer. I have, up here, I have 3 salmon fillets in here in water. And I have a ground turkey back there that is not very lean, so I'm gonna definitely drain and rinse it and then put spices in it. I'll just show you how I ingredient prep so that I'm prepared for the week and I have food. It's only a 4-day week, so I don't need that much actually. But I'm gonna just kind of prepare things for snacks, lunches, and dinners, or at least snacks and lunches. Yeah, because I don't want to have to cook 3 meals a day. So usually for breakfast I do 2 eggs and 2 pieces of toast, or my blueberry walnut protein oatmeal, or a variation of both. So that one's almost always the same. And then my honey bunny got me these cute little things, which I like the seaweed with salmon or tuna and the rice and some cucumber and edamame, and it's like a, you know, not raw sushi bowl or something, so it's really delicious. But yeah, I'll just show you what I do. So the first thing I'm gonna do to get started is the thing that takes the longest, which is the rice and the quinoa. And I'm just gonna follow the instructions and get them going. And if you want water to boil fast, put a lid on it. It's the best way. And again, I'm gonna use this veggie broth just because I have it, and I don't really want soups when it's hot outside. So I'll show you how I do everything. Okay, so the water started boiling really fast. I did water and broth, and so you just take it off the heat for the rice and let it sit for 5 minutes, and it's perfect every time. You do not have to rinse the rice if it's 5-minute or 10-minute rice because it's parboiled already. I definitely have to rinse the quinoa very well. And that one takes 2 cups of liquid to 1 cup of quinoa. And the next is all the cans, draining, rinsing, putting in to-go containers, and making this little thing. I just do it in the Magic Bullet in batches with the Valentina and a little bit of hot water, and that's it. And I'll show you how I'm gonna make the oats. I always just kind of eyeball it, but this time I'm gonna do a lot less of the saturated fat stuff, like the chocolate chips and the coconut, because that is not what we're going for here. So yeah, the 5-minute rice is like super fast. So once the water boils for this, I'm gonna stick that in there and do a timer for that. Okay, so I stirred this rice vigorously, like kind of like you would for risotto, and it turned it into like a sticky rice, like sushi rice, which is good because that's what I want to use it for, is sushi bowls, or not raw sushi bowls, maybe even tonight. So yeah, if you stir it really fast, it kind of makes it more like a sticky rice, like sushi rice. And yeah, I just added Bragg's liquid aminos and sesame seeds to that. And then with these, I drained and rinsed all of them very well, and then added back cool filtered water. I have the under the sink kind, and it's salt and pepper on these, Bragg's and sesame seeds on this. This one I did Bragg's and toasted sesame seeds, or regular sesame seeds, I mean. And it's still very hot, so I'm gonna let it cool down, and then I will put it into a glass container. But yeah, this one turned out great as well. It is just perfect, so I'm trying to not make it sticky. But yeah, that's a lot of quinoa. It definitely like doubles or triples in size, so that's great. And then I have my salmon in here, and I'm just gonna rinse it off and put it on the foil lined baking tray, but first I have to spray it. And then I will also put okra on here, so it'll be like protein veggies. And then over here I have my turkey, which I will definitely have to drain and rinse because it's the cheap kind. And then I've got some bell peppers that I'm gonna add in there for just tacos or burrito bowls or whatever for this week, this next 4 days. So I will show you that, and I will definitely be adding a lot of spices. So I always do, excuse me, my nose is running, I just sneezed. For Mexican-ish, I like chili powder, just a little bit. A lot of cayenne, paprika or smoked paprika. I do cilantro, freeze-dried chives, garlic at the last minute. You don't want it to burn, and then salt and pepper. Okay, it's looking crazy in the kitchen, but all this is done. Quinoa's done. I still have to do the beans. I'm doing the peppers and meat right now, and the salmon and okra are in the oven. I just did Cajun seasoning. They'll take about 10 more minutes. Salmon doesn't take very long because it's thin. So once I'm done with the meat, I will do the granola situation. Okay, so I'm about to blend the full can of drained and rinsed beans with some Valentina and hot sauce, or Valentina and hot water with this immersion blender. And here's 2 of the salmon fillets. If you see this white, that's just the omega-3s or fat coming through. It's fine. It is easiest to get the skin off if you don't like the skin when it's on the pan, and you can just slide it off. It's pretty easy, or you can use a spoon to like scrape off the gray bits that are like nasty. And then here's the full pound of cooked turkey. I'm really glad that I drained and rinsed it because I had a lot of fat on it. And a lot of green bell peppers just for extra veggies and vitamin C. And here I put a full cup of the rolled oats. I usually do organic, but it's like I have to pick between organic or gluten-free. So I alternate, but they didn't have any organic. So this is the gluten-free, and I added the rest of this PB2. It was like where that G is where the PB2 was. And then I also have some of this peanut butter that's a mixture of PB2 and creamy. So I will add that in there. But first I'm gonna blend this and show you how it looks whenever it's finished. And we have a happy fridge. In here, I put everything in here. Here's the edamame. We've got our quinoa and our rice and our kale, our carrots and corn, just everything in its little place. So I'm all set up for success this week. Fun fact, these little grape tomatoes are high FODMAP. They have too much fructose. So, but we're not all healthy all the time. We do like our little diet sodas. So anyways, I'll show you how this looks when it gets blended up. I'm just gonna literally put it on high and pulse it. Okay, so there's the bean dip or sauce or whatever you want to call it. Perfectly done. And then if you hear spraying in the background, that's my honey bunny using, I can't believe it's not butter on his toast. Here I did like 1/4 cup maybe of the sweetened shredded coconut. And then I did 3 maybe tablespoons of the dark chocolate chips. So it's not very much, but it'll be just enough to mix it up. And I'll add this peanut butter. And I don't think I'm going to make it into balls because I don't feel like getting my hands dirty and washing them for the 1000th time. But that'll be it for this video. Hope that helped you with some ideas for ingredient prep. And wherever you are, hope you have a great day or night. Okay, here's another quick lunch idea. It's just a taco with the yellow corn tortillas, cooked lentils and cheese, and cooked turkey with green bell pepper, nutritional yeast, cherry tomatoes or grape tomatoes, and Valentina. Super easy and delicious. Okay, and this is why I food prep. So I felt like a burrito bowl or Chipotle bowl, whatever you want to call it. So actually I was craving corn. I don't know why, probably because it like turns to sugar quickly. So I've got quinoa that I cooked that you saw in my previous video. And this has the veggie broth cooked with it, and Bragg's liquid aminos and sesame seeds. And then I have the corn drained and rinsed, then add filtered water back with salt and pepper. Cooked ground turkey. It was not lean, so I had to drain and rinse it very well, and then add all the spices and everything. And then I've got some of the baked okra with Cajun seasoning. They're not slimy if you bake them from frozen. And then aroma and my canned green beans, because they haven't had any frozen ones in a while that are the haricots verts or the fine one green beans that I like. So I got the 2 cans, and I drained and rinsed it, add back filtered water, and then I was like, well, I don't need that much, so I got rid of the water, instead did the Bragg's liquid aminos. So that's the brown there, so it's just Bragg's and sesame seeds. And then I have some Valentina hot sauce, which is my favorite right now, and the nutritional yeast flakes. So I'm gonna do a burrito bowl with a side of okra, and I'll put the green beans in their own little thing. So I'll show you how it looks. I may measure it this time just because I feel like tracking, just to see if I'm getting enough protein and healthy carbs. I just may want to, I don't track to lose weight or count calories. I track to make sure I'm getting enough nutrients like protein, carbs, fiber, all the things. So anyways, I'll show you how it looks when it gets all put together. Okay, there we go. So I just microwaved it and then added the tomatoes, and I mixed up. So this is cannellini beans and Valentina mixed. I just took the whole can, drained and rinsed it, and then put it in like a really tall thing where you do the immersion blender. Anyways, you can use whatever blender you like, but it's like a beany, cheesy kind of sauce, but it's really just beans and Valentina. So I'm gonna kind of drizzle this over here and just kind of go like that. It's hard to do with one hand. I'm looking at my phone. Anyways, you get the gist. So I'm gonna eat that first, and then probably that next, and then I'll mix this all up, and I'll add some little tortilla chips on top, like crunch them up. And that is my big, healthy, yummy lunch, and also pre-workout. Fun fact, that amount of meat, which is like half the bowl, it's kind of a big bowl, was like still under 3 ounces. I guess because a lot of it is bell pepper. I don't know how I hit tear on the little scale and everything, and I'm just like, goodness, like I'm not trying to eat that much meat right now. So anyways, it's just gonna be what it's gonna be. And that's 1/3 cup of the quinoa, just so that you know. It's like a small handful like this in my palm, but that's 1/3 cup. So that's it. I will show you another idea after this one. Okay, here's another meal idea, and this is from the food prepped items. So underneath there is that rice that I made sticky, like sushi rice. And then there's the edamame that was in the freezer, and I just let it sit in the refrigerator to defrost. There's a big salmon fillet, and I did watered down sriracha. So this was getting to the end, and I wanted to make it stretch, so I just put watered down so that my husband doesn't squirt the whole bottle all over his food sometime, but I need to get some more of that. And then here's Bragg's liquid aminos, wasabi, and sesame seeds. And I like to dip the cucumbers in there. That's my broccoli sprouts. That's celery with some avocado ranch dressing. and then just some of the carrots with salt and pepper that I microwaved. So I'll usually start with a little bit of the raw veggies and then get into the cooked. I don't know why. I don't think that you have to do that, but it's just the way I like it. And I'll just kind of go between this and this, and it's kind of like sushi. So that's a quick and easy meal idea with protein, carbs, good fats, salt, lots of veggies. I mean, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4 different kinds of plants. And yeah, good protein. It's a pretty big piece of salmon. And the salmon I just put on a foil lined baking sheet and did Cajun seasoning and a little lime juice. You could do whatever you like, and the skin came off really easily when it was done cooking. I mean, I did 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 to 12 minutes, and it was perfect. So that is it. Oh, I also did sesame seeds on everything. Yeah, on all this stuff. So that's it. It's another good, easy idea that was really fast to make. I just microwaved this stuff. And yeah, I'll show you another idea after this. Okay, I almost forgot the best part. I put toasted sesame seed oil on here and mixed everything up and added some hot and spicy peanuts. And also I'm gonna use this. I'll take a sheet and put it on there and kind of smush it down and like eat it all together in one bite if I can, because these get very soggy very quick. So that makes it really good. So that's it. And yeah, this is our little Yoda, and it's cute. It's so adorable, or Grogu or whatever. Yeah. So anyways, that is the missing piece. It is so good. I mean, I guess you could cut it up into little strips or something, but like I said, it gets soggy and it's better when it's crispy. Okay, that's it. Okay, here's a little snackity idea. So you just get whatever crackers. These are the Mary's Gone jalapeno crackers. They're kind of spicy and they were a little burnt, but I put a little spicy brown mustard on there, and then the little mozzarella, like I got the block and cut it into little cubes, mozzarella cubes. That's a serving, I think, is 2 dice sizes. So that's a little more than a serving, but it's fine. And this is homemade guacamole. That's a Freudian slip. Homemade granola that I made that has oats, peanut butter, PB2, Splenda, shredded coconut, and little dark chocolate chips. It's delicious. You could add more peanut butter if you want. My mouth is literally watering. You could also put honey, which I can't have because it's very high FODMAP, or a little maple syrup, but it's honestly just good like that because the peanut butter and the chocolate chips and the coconut is sweetened. So it's another little yummy snackity idea when you just want a little something like, you know, spicy and salty and creamy, but also sweet. So that's that. Okay, so here's the final meal idea for this video from the food prepped items. I just like to throw things together in literally 5 minutes for lunch. So underneath here I have nutritional yeast and corn, and then a mixture of the ground turkey, bell peppers, and bean sauce that has Valentina in it. And then I added more tomatoes and Valentina on top. And these are the yellow corn tortillas, and then I just have some okra on the side for some veggies. Those are the baked ones with Cajun seasoning, and that's it. Literally took 5 minutes. So that's the last thing for this video, and wherever you are, I hope you have a great day or night.